All right, welcome back to Amateurs Abroad. And this week we're going to talk about the real estate offices and some other things to look out for while you're buying a house in Musameli. I mean, Italy in general, but definitely
Yeah.
in Musameli.
No, I know, like, with Musameli, since it's a small town, you had found the one real estate office, but you were going to see, like, I know you didn't have time before just because it's been all new pretty much, but
Yeah, it's been back
you
and
were
forth.
going
And
to
I've
look
actually got to spend
into,
time here, not
yeah.
during construction. And so I've learned a lot this last month, I would say. And so
Have you found
when we
other
found the
options?
realtor, it was because on Facebook there's a group. It's Case €1 Musameli, and
Uh-huh.
so this realtor is allowed to do or is in charge of the €1 house program. But most of the houses
Um,
are not sold here €1, and so you go. Some people look for a €1, and then they go buy what they call a premium home. But
no.
a lot of people aren't coming here for the €1, but that's the only website you see in the Facebook groups and stuff. And there's actually two agencies, and I think there's a big difference in them as far as communication and responsiveness, because
Uh-huh.
I think with the €1 ones, they're busy answering all kinds of questions about the €1 program, and then they
So only
aren't
one
responding. I mean,
agency?
that's probably the number one complaint you would say that we get is like,
Oh,
no
for
one
sure.
answers me.
No one's answering. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the €1 can
So
only be afforded to one agency? Is that how it is?
yeah,
Or
as far as I
okay.
know, there's one that's awarded that kind of contract. I think it's just to keep it streamlined.
Sure.
But then the other gentleman has great houses and real affordable, and his fees are less, and they reply. So those are all pluses. So they each have different inventory. The thing is here,
Right.
like in the States, you get a realtor and they show you everything available. That's
Right.
not how it works. The
Mm-mm.
realtor is with the house, and you have to, go with that house. So you're not shown everything because those
Right.
aren't their listings.
Right.
So I would say that a lot of people come on the tours on Monday, and then and that's something that I've recommended is coming here for the tours. They go on Mondays and sometimes Thursdays, and get a feel for the area, get a feel for the
Mhm.
houses, but also that's just with one agent. And then you can go with the other agent, say on Tuesday. So Tuesday is the market day, as you know. So from, was it 8 or 9 a.m. was the market starting?
I think 8.
8 or 9 in the morning it
Mhm.
starts, and then it goes to about 1 in the afternoon. And then,
Yeah.
so you can go there at 9 till 10 and then go look at some houses with the other agent. The funny thing though is his last name in Italian means beach. And so when you go on the website, it says beach properties. I'm like, no, it's not. So
You're
it's
like,
like,
"This is
why would
not
it do that? But it's his last name, and so that's how it
horrible for
translates.
your job to aw, man.
I was like, what? I don't understand this. I'm like, oh wait, let me check out his last name, and then I put it through the translation app, and sure enough, that's what it was. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
makes
but
sense.
he's got tons of experience. And the other
Okay.
thing too is that, so when I found that there was another agency, they're like, yeah, but he doesn't speak English. I'm like, and then I've seen a
Um,
couple. He speaks English, and
oh,
also he has an assistant that speaks English. She
okay.
speaks English, Russian, and Italian. So
Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah, it's really, and again, being able to communicate with someone is like huge. So
Well, yeah, I
um
know that was like you said, that was the biggest, like, I keep calling him, I keep calling him, I keep emailing, and nothing, nothing, nothing.
yeah.
So
Also, the other thing is the people that do the tours are like, so at the beginning of the tour, they ask you, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? So someone's looking for €1, someone's looking for €50,000.
mhm.
It ranges, but you're all grouped together and you see them. And this
Right.
is case by case. So he's really looking for what you are
You want.
specifically interested in.
So he
Also, there's
doesn't
more
do
pictures on
tours?
his website, and I did not know that that agency was available, and now that there's two agencies, I think it's really important to look at both,
Yeah.
and see the differences as both. So that's what I would recommend. I'll put in the notes the agency links, but again, they have both agencies have a translator, English speaker. This
Mhm.
agent does speak English, but the original agent, Natalie, she doesn't speak English. She speaks French and Italian. And then Antonella's her translator. So she'll
Mhm.
go on all that. So you have someone to translate for
Yeah.
English, both scenarios. One does the tours, and then they also will show you stuff after the tours based on what you saw in the tours. The other one doesn't do the tours.
Okay.
Natalie's fees are higher for agency commission or agency fee Then the other one is Placido is his name. So they're just different.
Okay.
And just see what's a good fit. And basically, it's like you're finding your house. You can use both of them. No one's offended
Right.
that you're using both. You just this
Well,
is
and
your life,
in the States, like you said, one realtor can take you to all the houses, but
right?
here it's married to the realtor, so
Yeah.
it's a better
And
idea to
there's the
do
for
the
sale
one.
by owners. And so
Mhm.
for sale by owners, before I was kind of nervous about those because I didn't know enough about the process and
Right.
making sure what role exactly the notary played,
Yeah.
how you can verify information is correct, all
Mhm.
that stuff. And now I
Mhm.
definitely have a better grasp on it. And you can do for sale by owner no problem. And that's what usually the Italians do. They buy them for sale by owner from each other and not use the agency as much.
Right, yeah.
Um, but the notary will verify the plans and stuff, which has turned out, as I've told you on the phone talking, it's turned out to be a big deal this week specifically.
Right. So, like, if it's a for sale by owner, how can you ensure? Because you had said that there's been a lot of like unlicensed patios. Like, how can you
Yeah.
ensure that
So
plans are okay?
basically you get, and what we're talking about, the terraces and stuff, was
Uh-huh.
that terraces, patio stuff, is that you get plans to your house. And these are not like 3D fancy plans at all.
No.
It's like just a thing with a measurement,
Yeah.
and really basic. But your plans have to match what your house matches. And so
Right.
the notary will make sure that that is matching. If that doesn't match, like the technician will go out and check. And if it doesn't match, then those are like people have added on a terrace or something, which you people do. But then before you sell the house, you either have to restore it to what it was originally at
Mhm.
or update the plans. And when you're updating the
Right.
plans, that means you have to submit them with the technician to the comune and get the approval. So basically, like permitted work, right?
Right.
And so you can't sell a house if it's not permitted work, but people still do. Um, and so this week, three different people are at like the part where they're ready to close. They're like, oh, by the way, the agency told them, by the way, the plans don't match. And in one instance, it's like, well, I'm not buying it, but the plans don't match. And
Right.
so the sellers, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
the sellers got permission from the comune. They have to get a technician to redo the plans, and in this case, the beautiful terrace, like what they bought the house for, was
Right.
not approved. It used to be a
Mhm.
roof, and they changed it without getting permission.
Mhm.
And they're like, I'm not going to be responsible for this because if
Right.
someone in the city says this is not approved work, you need to change it back to a roof. Well, you wanted a terrace, you don't want a roof. And
Right.
so that's a big deal. And so they're getting that redone. It takes about a month. It goes through the technician and then other departments. And so then the notary sees that and goes off on it. Another one is another terrace. It's more of a patio on top of a garage.
Uh-huh.
And that wasn't on the plans. And then another part of the house was a small terrace, but now it's roofed in and enclosed and it's made into a laundry area. And
Okay.
so those aren't on the plans. So that person had to decide whether they're willing to purchase it and take the risk of someone in the future. When they go to sell it,
Right.
then they may have they
Tear
may
it
not be
down
able to sell
then,
it. Yeah, they
or
may
yeah.
have to change it back. Now,
Yeah.
because it's on a garage, then it's not like it didn't change a roof line or anything like that. So it's pretty much you can take the railing off, and I think it would be okay.
Mhm.
It's just now it looks like the roof of the garage,
Right.
because it's not part of the like over the house. The other thing, you just open up the roof for the laundry area to restore it. So that was in a big restoration. The third one though was huge. This house is an enormous house, and
Um,
so there's a big terrace, huge terrace, like 40 feet, maybe not 40, maybe 30 feet by like 20 feet. Like it's big.
uh-huh. Right.
And huge focal point in the house, and that's not on the plans.
Yeah.
And the agency said, oh, it'll be fine, no one will look. And I was like, that's who says that? Like,
Right.
no. When they look, you're in big trouble.
Famous
So we
last
talked to the
words.
tech Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good for you. You got the commission, all that stuff. But we talked to the technician. He came out to the house. He's like, yeah, this isn't going to pass. Like, this is not going
Yeah.
to go. So they renegotiated the price with the fact that they're going to, the buyers are going to restore it to its natural and take out that terrace. The
Okay.
other thing they did is within so the exterior walls are the big deal, right?
Right.
The one area they raised the roof a little bit, but he thinks so they're going to have to resubmit the plans and get approval. He thinks that will go through and be accepted because it's just raising it up slightly.
Right.
If worst comes to worst, they just have to put it down like a foot.
Yeah.
But the terrace is like, no way is that happening.
Right.
They're lucky enough to have another terrace below and a nice garden area, so they still have outdoor space. But can you imagine if that was the only outdoor space?
Right.
No.
So it sounds like these come up as being problems, but they seem to be easier fixes. It just is an inconvenience, and
it's an inconvenience. And well, the thing is too, I think like the one agency seems to check the documents after the house is listed, and the other agency checks them before. So you're not seeing anything that needs changing or that hasn't been like verified.
Right.
The other thing with the third house I was talking about, the terrace will not be approved. The roof may be approved, but when they go to submit, they have to make sure the whole house is what it was. So when people do things inside their house, it's not as big of a deal. Like you add a wall or whatever, you still should get permission, but it's not a big deal.
Right.
And it's the exterior stuff.
Yeah.
So now they're redoing the exterior, which means they have to show everything that they've done on the interior. There are so many like rooms and stuff because it was basically 3 houses combined at one point, and so many rooms that are not on the plans. So it's going to cost about $10,000 to have the whole house. Like it's basically a whole set of architectural drawings on the whole house.
How sad. Well, apparently that's that good of a house, so that they want to do it.
I know it is a beautiful house, but they negotiated with the owner saying we have to reduce the price by, and it was a house that was over 100,000, so there is room in that, but they negotiated the price to reduce the technical drawing for having the technical plans drawn up and reduce for the demolition of that big huge terrace. So those are things to look for, and if they didn't know. Honestly, and this is what they said too, if they didn't know, myself and the project manager that we work with, and we didn't say, because the agency said like, oh, you'll be fine, no one will look. And I'm like, no, they may have just accepted that at the higher price and not factoring in. And then one day get a knock on the door and saying, hey, this isn't legal. You have to now restore it. And here's a penalty. Right. So not cool as far, but I think these are things that like, locals know or Italians know, but we just don't know this in the market because we assume. Also, there was an American that went to have a terrace added, and
I'm sorry, go ahead. I was going to say we have to have permits before we can do anything,
right? Yeah, because this American was putting in a terrace, and the contractor, they said, and this happened to me too. I said, "Can I put a terrace on my roof?" Sure, yeah, no problem. We can do that. We'll take a look at it. I'm like, "Oh, cool." Did not say it's illegal to do that and that I could get in trouble and that if I ever sell, I'd have to restore it to. I'm like, those are big things to update, right? But I didn't even know to ask because we assume, like you said, in the States, you have that. There's no forgiveness. You ask permission up front, or else you couldn't sell a house if it's unpermitted work, or you'd have to disclose it. It's unpermitted work, and then so those are big deals, and all 3 instances they are buying the houses, so it's not something to stop you. It's not a deal, just a thing. It's a thing, another thing that we just don't know and don't know to ask. So to me, that's huge. So you definitely don't only have the advice of one person, meaning like the agent or whatever. Talk to a technician. Talk to an attorney, talk to a project manager, talk to someone that you can have checks and balances with to know. And, hopefully people seeing this video also know to say, let's not poo-poo this away. Like, it may be fine. If the plans match your house, you don't need all those extra people. Great. But if the plans don't match your house, you better get a technician to have that second opinion because someone may just want a commission, or someone also may just think, they haven't done it. But guess what? What happens if there's a new mayor in town, or a new,
Right.
someone, your
Yeah.
next door neighbor's mad because they can't hang the laundry on your house anymore because you cut their line. And now they're like, oh, really? I'm going to tell on you. So
Right.
I don't want anyone having being able to tell on me for anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's important to make sure your plans match, for sure.
Wow. Who knew?
Yeah. I know. And it's so funny because, like, I didn't know this stuff going in on it, right? And I
Right.
cannot believe how lucky I am that all these things that I find out, like,
No.
I'm just lucky everything
Especially with
matched.
the size of your house, like you could have a lot of things happening.
Oh, I know. And there is, as you know, the surprise that is happening actually Wednesday. I am buying my next door neighbor's house.
Yes.
And I'm super excited because my house was half of an original house of a
Right.
palace,
Yeah.
and theirs is the other half of the palace. And so I want to bring them together. I'm going to have I'm playing with the dog ball. Sorry, Todd. I'm like, what is that? The Kong thing that you put the stuff in?
Your dog feet.
Yeah.
That's what.
So this half is one half. The other half, the bottom half, I'm gonna make as a 2-bedroom Airbnb, and then the top half I'll take over with this, and then it's a rooftop terrace that is legal because the house has been in the family that I'm buying it from over 100 years. So the plans were old. Nothing's in, like, the terminology wasn't in Euro. Like, they had to update everything. But guess what? Only the first floor was on the plans, and I was like, because now I know. And I was like, no. So they did, without, my neighbors are awesome. So they already knew that they were going to have to get a technician and get the plans done. So, because it's 3 stories, and I'm like, only one's on the plans. So it is all set, and so that closes on Wednesday. So by the time this video comes out, then I will have the other half. So
have all of it. It'll be so cool.
I know, but I knew to look for that. And luckily, my neighbors also, before selling it, knew that they would have to get the plans up to date.
It is sad though that because they're awesome neighbors, so it's sad that
They're
they won't
so
be right
amazing. It makes me sad, but so she messaged last night. She said, "Laura, I don't know if you," and this is all in Italian, and we WhatsApp and we do the translation. So she said, "I don't know if you know we left." And I said, "But I saw your car yesterday." She said, "My husband was just coming to get a last minute things." And then I went down to dinner and at the Margaritas, and I passed, and the house was dark, and there's no one in the front, and I was like, "She's not here." And so then I messaged her, and I don't drink coffee. I'm like, "We'll have to go to coffee and stuff." And she goes, "Yeah," and then I'll come pick you up and I'll take you to my new house. And so I still consider her my neighbor, and I still definitely am going to stay in touch with her because she's so lovely, and her husband's lovely. And but it was kind of sad. Like, wait, you're not there?
Yeah, you were my first people.
And I'm sure they're sad. Exactly. And I'm sure they're sad too. She's lived in her whole life, and she's in her 70s, her whole life. Yeah. They do have the country house too, so it's not like they never went away from the house or anything.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still a change. It's a definite change for them. Yeah. So, yeah. So then I can park there, since I still can't park down at the church is still doing the thing. I can't park in front of my house yet because I can't turn my car on. But I get a garage with it also. Yeah. So I think I can back into the garage to get like the angle right to get out.
Yeah. Right?
One day I will park in front of my
One day I'm gonna inching closer and closer.
So when you come out, you're gonna get to see it. Hopefully the Airbnb will be done, because I did buy their kitchen and I did buy their some of their furniture. So I just need bedroom furniture. And then
floors were
and that'll be done. Yeah. So that'll be nice.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. I know. And the floors too. You remember the floors? Like, my floors are pretty tough, but they're marble and they're like standard. They're like gray. Yeah. And then the bedrooms are like brown or beige, I guess. But they have mosaic stuff. Like, pretty.
Like, is that a
Ugh,
rug or is that a? No, that's tile.
I
Okay.
know. But that's
Yeah.
because I can't get like a tapestry kind of rug because it clashes with the mosaic on the ground. So I
Yeah.
need to get some plain rugs to not take away or not make it look too busy. But I
Right.
cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
I've got like 90 something days to go. So
I know. And I clearly don't need the extra space. I just didn't want someone else buying it, and I want to put it back together. So
right.
it's gonna be fun.
Well, and then they can come visit and see it still too. You know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're always welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but then sometimes if there's a family member that wants to visit that I don't really want to visit, I'll be like, stay in the Airbnb, because then I won't be in the actual house. They're right there, but there's a door. There's a separation.
Yeah, there you go. And we have
Yeah.
two family, so
I know. And yeah, like some people, if you're crazy, you're not in the main house.
right. If there's a comfort level of not sleeping when you're in the room, maybe if you're in the
Right.
house.
And the bedroom, as you know, is enormous. So
Yeah.
also, like when I get old and I don't want to go up and downstairs,
Yeah.
I'll probably take over the bottom half too, so I can have that giant bedroom.
Yeah.
And then there's two balconies off the bedroom and the living room, which is a great view. So
And the bedroom didn't
yeah,
have
I'm
an
really
air
excited
conditioning
about it.
Didn't have air conditioning in the bedroom.
Yeah, it has air conditioning in the bedroom and it has the radiator heating system.
Yeah.
So because they only lived in the downstairs. So
Yeah.
the downstairs, which is going to be the Airbnb, is all totally
Yeah, pretty much done. Just needs a
lived
little.
in since yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's good. And all the Italian men seem to futz around and fix everything all the time. So
Right.
everything's in good shape. Even
Yeah.
the Italian women, because remember the other rental that we have, that lady said she did all the work on like the
Yes.
walls and all that stuff.
And all
So
her
they're pretty
like, she was
handy.
so proud of her curtains. Like she made like they were beautiful, but she made
Beautiful.
like all of her coverings and everything too. Yeah.
And I think as a gift, they're leaving the curtains in the living room for me too.
That's cool.
So I know.
Those are good curtains.
They're really, and they're tall. It's so tall.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
ceiling is so tall.
Right.
So yeah. So we'll probably talk next week. I'll talk more about it, and then I'll probably have posted a video on social media already, and that we'll link that in the description and the comments so that people can see it. So I'll link both agencies' websites, and then I'll put a link in for the house, the other half of the house, it's going to be transformation. I think I do want to redo the bathroom a little bit because the shower was small. It's made for an Italian, not an American. So,
right.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's really good. So I'll put links of all those, and then yeah, I think that's it. But definitely, check if you're coming here. It's not, again, something to stop you from buying, but it's something else to factor in.
Just to look out for, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and a negotiation point too, as well. Like if you're gonna have to do plans later, or to take something down or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
So
yep. That's
so okay, so next week we'll probably talk about all the plans because we're closing on the rental and the next door neighbor house. So we'll have lots of fun stuff to talk about.
Yay! I wish I was there.
I know, me too. Because you're so good at putting furniture together also. So just for that reason alone. Yeah.
Yes, you will feel the pain that my body felt after putting 7 beds together.
Oh my god.
My arms were like, what were you doing?
There's 6 beds in the house. Plus the baby beds. So 6,
baby
7,
beds.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 beds.
Yeah. I know. And then we put the coffee table, the dining table put together, the side table thing, like buffet thing put together. Yeah. All the chairs.
The chairs. I think you pretty much did the chairs though. You did the
I did the chairs, but yeah.
Those were horrible.
Yeah, maybe I'll just wait for you. Although I want to rent them out.
I did
because a lot of people are coming and they contact me and they're like, "Where can we stay? Where can we stay?" And now I can say, "There's a place."
Hey, stay here. Yeah.
And and we're right in the walking distance of the main piazza, but having laundry in a kitchen is
unheard of.
So nice. Yeah.
It's okay.
So anyway, we'll talk about that next week.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Ciao.